Good afternoon, Nuclear Marine here. What we are here is with the first lesson of Remembering the Kana by James Hayzig. I should just say what I'm going to be doing is leaning heavily upon James Hayzig's book, Remembering the Kana. Should be a link to the book somewhere in this video on YouTube. In addition, I'll be adding my own little changes that I think is going to be noteworthy. And also in this video series, introduce how to use Anki when dealing with reviewing Kana. Okay, let's just keep it simple. What I will be doing is on each of these lessons is I'm going to give a letter, which is kind of the romaji, what they call the Roman character used in Japanese. Let's say, for example, I write N, and it's being I will say, okay, this is what it's pronounced as, and I'll give an English word like sing or ran. So that, and then what I'll then start doing is saying, okay, here is how you would do it in Kana. And I'll give a little story on how to then relate the sound, the to the drawing. In this case, and then of course then introduce a couple of words that may be used like it. In other words, I might say, okay, write in, or I might even say like do this, and say, okay, write these characters. When you're doing your review, pause the video and write it down for you. And this will also relate. All these will then be put into a flashcard set for the Anki flashcard program. Alright, so with that, let me go and back out a bit and just start this up. Now this will be lesson 1. It will be about 30 minutes long, so the video will be broken into 2 or 3 parts depending on the length. And what it will hopefully it should be 12 lessons in total, 6 for the hiragana, 6 for the katakana. After that, we'll go into learning kanji, and after that, grammar. That's the current path we'll be taking. Again, if there's any questions, more clarifications, right on the comments page, asking for anything, what I can do is annotate during the video. So, let's begin. Now, we already started. This is lesson 1, so this is part 1. First character we're going to cover is pretty much the easiest. What we're going to do is, like I said, and this is pronounced as in sing or ran in English. What it usually comes at the end of some type of syllable in Japanese. In fact, how to write it is fairly simple. The reason being is what we're going to use is the keyword. When we hear think of the cursive for the letter N. So here's a cursive, right? So for the what you're going to do is a downward stroke, and almost looks like a sine wave. And that right there is the character. Alright, so up here will be my nice little review. So there we have is the kana for I don't know if there's an actual term for it. And then what the reminder of that character is, which is the letter N in this case. Let's go on to the next one. Let's scroll down a bit. Get some new writing. Alright, the next character we're going to cover, let me write it for you, is, now this looks like the letter I, but it's pronounced E. That's like graffiti or king. And the stroke, what it's going to do is introduce is, think of how you did two. You did the long line, then you did the little dot. Well, in this case, it's going to be kind of different. What we're going to do is we're going to curve down. That's the first stroke. So think of the curve, and what I like to call that as the cape, or Little Red Riding Hood cape. Little Red Riding Cape. And then, so think of that as being the first stroke of the letter I. And then we're going to dot it, but we're going to dot off the side with a small little curve. And there are the 2 strokes. Now, to keep it a little easier, here's what's actually happening. When you do it, it's almost like you're doing this right here. And then what you're happening is that the pen, you've picked it up a little bit, so this part right here is not being written down. And with that, you have just did the character E. E. Pretty simple to draw. So we'll pause it right there. Now with E, I want you to do is practice a couple of these words right here. So what we will do, pause it after you do it, but what you're going to write is this character that's pronounced in, and then we also have is E. So we have in, written in Romaji, and E. So don't worry about what the words mean in Japanese. Only thing we're concerned with at the moment is using these words to help practice these characters. And from now on, when I introduce words, uh, all these will be based on characters that you've learned up to this point. And so it's a bit about how you get a bit of reinforcement through repetition instead of just having, hey, write these characters 100,000 times till you remember, or 100 times till you remember it. Now it's going to be as you get these words, you will then get practice with the characters. So I think it becomes a bit more. It's not as it's not as repetitive and feels a bit more fun because you feel like, okay, and soon you'll find out exactly what these later on, in not too distant future, you'll find out what these words mean. So do not worry about what these words mean at the moment. We're just using these to reinforce the characters. And so now we've covered 2 characters. Let's get on to our third one. Let's scroll down a bit. Now this character, this is the pronunciation for it. Ku, 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 ku. It's pronounced like that. Now, what Hazy's giving as the keyword, he wants you to think of is think of Pac-Man, but think of it as we pronounce it in Japanese, which is Pac-Man. So ku, Pac-Man, the ku of Pac-Man. In fact, think of Pac-Man, draw Pac-Man. So you remember Pac-Man, it's a little character right there with a little eye, eating the little dots, right? And what he was saying, like every time he eats a little dot, go ku, 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 ku. Pac-Man. Now, for ku, that's not too simple. It's very simple. Just look at the mouth. See the mouth? It's going to be drawn kind of like the greater than symbol for a math class, but that's ku. Could be a little bit straighter right there. Again, it's simple as that. One stroke, and the pronunciation is ku. Some words that may use Pac-Man is, what I want you to do is think of is iku, kun, kui. So iku, kun, kui. So again, pause the video, practice writing these out 2 or 3 times each, and pronounce it as you go along. Alright, now so here's our 3 characters so far that we've studied with the little note. Now remember, now here's the purpose. Again, it's that you hear a sound ku. Now what you want to do is you hear ku, you think of Pac-Man. And with Pac-Man you realize about the mouth, so then you get the character of ku. This sounds kind of a difficult road to take, but bear with me for a moment. What we're trying to do is attach the sound to how to write this hiragana through a more method using your more visual memory here. So I'm going to stress this as each of the lessons go on, but I'm stressing it here now at the beginning, is that we're going to get the sound. From the sound you get the story, and the story gives you how to draw the character. So you hear E, you think of the letter, or pronunciation as the I, so you think of the 2 strokes for E. That's all we're trying to do here. Alright, before I move on, I'm going to introduce a concept called the glottal stop. So let's go down. Now the glottal stop, if you see it in Japanese, this looks like a quotation mark. What it's written is after a few of these characters, and one of them is, way I would do it like here. If you looked at ku, okay, and what that is if you think of it as if there is a English character, there is a K line. So let's say we have this ku happens to be in, so we got a K line here, and there's what we have is a ka, a ki, right here is a ku. Then we also have K and ko. Alright, this K, when you take the K, any of these right here, and in fact ku, we already know what it is, it's right there. So let's say we have ku. So we got that. What we're going to do is add a glottal stop. So that makes that K, the K, sound into more of a G. So instead of this being a ku with the glottal stop, this ku becomes a gu. And that's like the baby sound goo goo. So whereas ku is cook or coup d'etat, gu is gooey or goo goo, goo goo dolls. So that's called a glottal stop. As each of these characters that use this glottal stop, I will introduce that and try to give at least an English word that has a similar sound. And then as also through the reviews, I'll through the reviews, what I'll also do is give you some practice. So let's go back. Remember how we had it. So imagine we did this. So this would be igu. So this would be goon, goon, and gooey. Now, let me make sure, reason being is that when Hazig did the book, he put the glottal stop at the end of all the lessons. So he didn't introduce these words. So some of these words may or may not be good Japanese words. Like goon is a Japanese word. However, igu and gooey, I do not know if those exist as Japanese words. Nor do I care. What I'm trying to do is give you a lesson on how to pronounce these characters. Alright, so now we're back. Now you could think we learned 4 letters so far, which is the n, e, the ku, and then it's glottal stop, which is the gu. Alright, next character. Right here, it's going... Now, this is where you can confuse English with Japanese. This looks like he. But the pronunciation for here is hey, as in hey or shame. Hey. Hey. In fact, the key word here we're going to think of is haystack. So imagine a haystack right there. That's the haystack. But this is more of maybe a haystack on a hill. So here's what's going to... So look at how the stroke is. It's going to go up slightly, then come right back down. A little longer stroke coming back down. But hay. So think of hay. Think of a haystack, that little flowing haystack. Even though it is H-E, it's pronounced hay. As in hay or shame. A couple words that you can use. That we can use with this. This is Hain. Hey, I wrote, yeah, I kind of wrote that bad. And then we have is E. Hain. Ehen. Ehain. So, Ehain. In addition to, this is one of those. Let me go down here. Now, if we looked right here, here's that little chart I was talking about earlier. So if you think of this as being a k line, and what you would have is ka, ki, ku. Here, let me come down a little further so you can see the... Okay, so you can think about it being ka, ki, ku. So here's the ku that we learned. And here's the gu, ke, ko. So what we're going to do for the glottal stop, there is a glottal stop for the h. So 8. So there's a h and there's a a, I, u, e, o. So here's a hey. So when it's got a glottal stop, when there's this right here attached to it, the h becomes more of a b. So the hey becomes a bay, as in baby, or bay. San Francisco Bay. So let's go back up here and let's look at this. So if I just add a glottal stop to these, this becomes bane, bay, even, eben, eben. And it's as simple as that. So let me go and pause this real quick. And here we are. Here's our next character. Hey, haystack. Also bay, as in bay. Next character we get to go on to. Actually, I kind of like this story personally. So, pronounce as you see it. No, that's no as in to know something. Rhino, no as in stop. The key word here is going to be the, think of the stop sign or the no sign, no smoking. So imagine drawing the no sign, which is start up here and draw a slash from the top right to the bottom left. Okay, and then down here on the bottom left, what I want you to do is then complete that. Imagine doing the, so that looks like a no sign. So let's try again, but this time without. Okay. Again, still a no sign. You put a cigarette in there, a car sign for no parking. You can do whatever. So to draw this character, it's pretty much going to replicate this. This is all in one stroke. So what you're going to do is come down here. So there's that little slash from top right to bottom left. And we're going to complete the no sign. Sorry, my phone ringing. Alright, so let's try drawing that again. Apologies for the phone call. So just write it smooth. Pretty much it. That's the no. That's no. No. Rhino. No. So some words that use this character based on all the other characters that we've learned so far. There's the he no, he no, non no, kuno. He no, non no, kuno. All right. And there now let's say if we want to do a glottal stop just for extra practice, if we did this, beno, guno. And the no itself doesn't change pronunciations. All right, so here we are so far up to our fifth character and a couple of glottals. No sign. So let's carry on to the next character. This is one where we're going to start getting a bit more on the imaginary story, on the imagination with the way the stories are going to work. The character we're going to learn next, KE is the romanization on it. Now this is pronounced K, as in special K, cape, kangaroo, K. The story, what we want to do, if you think back to E, and I kind of mentioned it, is that we saw this right here. Right? It's just a small, slightly curved, the little uptick. When you look at this, try to think of a cape. Now, what I was using my story is I was always thinking of Little Red Riding Cape or Little Hood. So a little girl with a red cape doing all sorts of fun things in Kana land. In this case, when you hear K, think of cape and dagger. So just imagine you had Little Red Riding Hood is here. There she is. Okay, and up comes a big bad wolf, and what Little Red Riding Hood, she's prepared for this guy now. So what she's going to do is going to draw out this dagger and hold off the big bad wolf. So look at the second symbol I did. It's what you're going to see in these kana is going to be this. It's going to look kind of like the little dagger or the knife. It's either going to be curved a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, maybe a bit more exaggerated, depending on how it's drawn. Okay, so it just depends on the character. In our case, it's not going to be too exaggerated, so it's just going to be a small up. There's a tick. Do the straight line, then come down, finish off the dagger. Okay. In fact, let me do the stroke order for you individually. So it's 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. K, as in cape or kangaroo. So the K, cape and dagger. There's Little Red Riding Cape drawing out her dagger to fend off the big bad wolf. And some words that'll use it. Now in this case, K in the E symbol, this one E, when it's used after an sound, a K, de, te, it stretches it out. So this K. No K, no K, no K. And can E. Can E. Now, just to make sure, right here, and this is going to be kind of, you have your A, I, U, E, O. We already know E. What's going to happen when in romanization, when it's, you're not going to worry too much about it, but you may see it now and again. You're going to see this little apostrophe after the N. Whenever you see that, it's usually when there's a vowel after there, but you don't want a different symbol, which ni is a symbol in itself. So this is saying that when you see the apostrophe, do this N sign. Keep that N on its own. So it's just the symbol for N and the symbol for E on their own. There's another, we'll be learning it real soon, was for ni. And this only happens in romanization, and I try to avoid romanization altogether so I don't think about it too much. And hopefully after these lessons, you stop using them too. So anyway, these are the words. K, no K, can E. But we're not done just yet. This is let's come down here. If you look right here, remember ku can be a glottal. So now right now we have is the K. As such, we have here, if ku becomes gu, K becomes gay. As in, well, gay, homosexual, being gay, various other words. So gay. So K, gay. Glottal stops. Pause it real quick. So let's go back to these words that we learned. So here we have is K. So this, ge, no ke, no ge. Keni, ken-i, geni. Or about as simple as the review as we can make it. All right, with that next characters, that brings us up to about 6 characters so far. So here we are with K, keyword cape and dagger, and when it has a glottal, it becomes gay. All right, next character. All right. So the next character, what we're going to do, let's write it out. Here's the romanization. This is a soft A, so the ah, as in on, otter, father, ah. Oddly enough, this is the first character most people learning Japanese learn as hiragana, the ah. No, and here it's our 7th character, or later if you count the glottal. So again, that's the benefit, is that but you're gonna see why this is better learning later than earlier. So here, think of the key word here is going to be otter. Now, if you don't know what an otter is, I guess it's a nice little mammal, goes around laying on its back, putting clams on its tummy, and breaking open the oysters. Or that's what I think about it. Okay, so imagine otter. And now here, you have this otter, and there's this guy really, 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 really hates otters. Okay, so he hates this otter so much, what he's going to do is he's going to take this dagger and stab at that otter. He's going to stab at it, right? However, you got this little girl, maybe a little Red Riding Cape herself, who knows? But what she's going to say is no, all right? Think of the no sign. No, no, and it points at the no sign. There's no stabbing otters. And kind of a silly story, but I like it. It's the dagger and the no sign. And from right there, you have the symbol for ah. Ah, otter. The dagger to stab the otter and the no stabbing otter sign. The little girl points out. So here we're going to do is a couple words. Practice these if you would. Ano. Next one is aku. And the last one would be so ano, aku, akeno. Ano, aku, akeno. And just get further practice in here. It will be agu, ageno. Again, when I've had these glottals, may not be real words, but before that, all the other words I give are actual Japanese words. So akeno, ageno. Pause this real quick. And alright, and just so you can see everything you've covered so far, here are all the characters we're up to, or past ah. So let's move on to the next character we'll be learning. Carrying on with the k line. Well, let's do this right here. Ko. That's ko as in comb. Koko. Ko. Keyword we're going to use comb. Combs. So here, just imagine you got a nice little lady, and then she's got, I know this is probably a little ugly lady. Well, it looks like my school teacher. But anyway, she's got this nice little hair in a bun back here, right? And at the top and at the bottom are going to be 2 combs, the little curves of the comb. So that's what we're going to simulate here. Is we're going to do, if you look, it's the nice little comb at the top and the comb at the bottom, and here in the middle would probably be that little hair bun that's being held together by these 2 combs. Comb. So think of the 2 strokes, 2 little curvy combs. Now, here's what's actually happening when you do this. Here's the stroke. So 1, 2. Here's what it's actually 1 stroke like this, and what's happening is that the middle part is this being erased. Or it's not erased, it's just that your pen's picked up at that time. And it then ends up looking like this symbol here, ko. So think of the 2 combs, ko. Now, some words that use this. Ko, no. And as I write it out, try to pronounce it on your own. And as I said, pause it and practice writing on your own. So when I'm writing it, practice pronunciations before I pronounce it. See how good see if you can match up. cone. Keiko. Kono, cone, keiko. Now, just to throw a monkey in a wrench, what these also are is the ko can be a glottal. So when I do this, so think about it. If ku becomes gu and k becomes gay, ko becomes go. So this is go as in go away. Not gone. Well, the only thing I can think of right now is go away. So go. Ko becomes go. So if we practice our these, kind of guess what it would become. So gono, gon, keigo, gono, gon, keigo. All right, let me pause it right there. And now we're up to we finished our 8th character. Let's do it for this lesson, the final character for this lesson. This one's going to be just like as combined a couple of characters. We're going to do it again with this one. So now this is ni, as in, make sure I got that, like need. Knee, as in your knees on your leg. Need, as in I need someone. Knee. The character here, what we're going to do, imagine a story. So you had Little Red Riding Hood, or Little Red Riding Cape. So there she is reading her cape. All right, and as she's walking, she notices that for some reason her sister, when you think of the knee, what she did is her knees, her little sister had glued combs to her knee. So you got the cape for Little Red Riding Cape, and then the sister glued the combs to her knee. And what's happening, she notices that because the comb here is catching on the little cape as she walks. So there we go. Here's the strokes again. So you do the cape in the top part of the comb, and then the cape and the bottom part. So if you've written cape, you'll see there, and if you did ko, you'll see the characters, and that's all this is, a combination of these two little story things that we thought of, which is the comb and the cape. Knee. Just 3 strokes. Now, so knee or kneecaps. Now, some words that use this character. Nin. Ku. Ni. Niko. So nin, kuni, niko. In fact, you see right here, niko side by side. You get to see how the similarities of those strokes are. And just for further practice, let's say I put some glottals here. So this becomes guni instead of kuni, guni instead of niko, nigo. And with that, we're actually done with our lesson. So let me go and show you something since we're done here. Alright, so here's all our characters again for review. N, the letter N. E, think of the 2 strokes of the letter I. Ku, pakuman. Hey, haystack. No, the no sign. Cape and dagger for the K. Also sounds like gay if it's glottal. The the nose-stabbing otter. Comb, the combs in the hair bun. And the kneecap. Now, if you come down here, here's what I've done. If you think of it, think of a matrix. And across the top, you have these, a 5 by something matrix. So across the top, you have these 5, what we think of the 5 vowels for us. So a, I, U, E, O. And down here off the side will be consonants, what we think of as consonants in the English language. So this would be the a, so all the vowels themselves, a, I, U, E, O. We've got 2 filled up. Now here's the k, the K line, or the k line, I like to think of it. And that means we already have 3 characters here. The ku, under the K-U, ku, K-E, K, K-O, ko, ku. Then it's glottaled here. So gu, ge, go. Then down here we've already gotten the no, but if you remembered our last character, the N-I, ni. N-I is ni. So we can actually come in here and fill this in right here. May not helps if I got the right character here. So ni, no. And then further down here we have is the H line. So he, and that's glottal. So b, be, he, be. And then right here, this final thing is this character goes at the end of syllables, the n pronunciation, which we think of the letter N, but this could be an n. You could also have an sound depending on the word used. That is lesson 1. On the next, what I will do now is on the next video, I'll probably redo the video I did on concerning Anki. I'll show you, watch the video which I have. It's called the Remembering the Kana video. It's showing you how to download Anki and utilize the program. What I'll then do is go into actually how to start studying these programs as time goes, how studying the flashcards on this, and make it more related to this particular video series I'll be creating. Alright, and see you on lesson 2. Thank you.